Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Glacier Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. This community gathers on the ancestral, unceded lands of the Salish and Kootenai tribes, who are still here, continuing to honor and bring light to their ancient heritage. With profound respect and gratitude, we seek a deepening relationship and meaningful reconciliation with both the people and this land. My name is Akasha Heinzig, and I will be one of your service leaders today. Whether you are here for the first time or have been coming for years, wherever you are from, whoever you love, whatever history we share, you are welcome here. We will start with announcements today, and we have a few of them. First, as always, everyone is welcome to stay after the service for coffee, tea, and snacks. Today is our newcomers lunch, led by Charlotte and Betsy from the membership team. For anyone interested in learning more about Unitarian Universalism and our fellowship, this is a great opportunity to ask all the questions. It will take place in the back classroom beginning at 11:15 to give everyone enough time to grab a plate of food first. And childcare will be provided. There is also a board meeting today after service, which will be happening in the front room starting at 11:30. You don't have to be on the board to attend. Everyone is welcome. I have a message here from our social action team. Next Saturday is our Habitat for Humanity Build Day. This was something we did yearly prior to COVID, but haven't done in a while. Our volunteer hours next Saturday will go to benefit a family who are Mexican immigrants and became citizens a few years ago. We will be working alongside, well, it says Chocolate and his wife Maria and son Danny Contreras. Questionable. Don't know about that. His family are longtime friends of Betsy and Dan. Their two younger children will join with the younger children at Guff for a play date. Teens 17 years and up are allowed to help at the site. You can volunteer from 8 to 11:30 at the site or stay until 3 p.m. There are jobs for every person at every physical and skill level. In addition, we will need a couple people to handle childcare in our building and a couple people to provide the lunch. Contact Betsy, whose number is on the handout, which will be up on the counter, if you can help with any of these tasks. Okay. And lastly, we are going to be renewing small group gatherings called Chalice Circles, which haven't been offered here since 2014. Kathy Neff is gathering names and contact information of people who may be interested in participating in a pilot round of 6 to 8 sessions from late January to early May this year. So get in touch with her if you would like to be included. Kathy, raise your hand for us so everyone knows. There we go. Kathy. There might be information on the counter of that as well. That is all of our announcements today. I will turn it over to Mary.
I'd like to begin with a poem by Reverend Sean Parker Dennison, one of my UU colleagues, How to Survive the Apocalypse. First, learn to listen, not only for enemies around corners and in hidden places, but for the faint footsteps of hope and the whisper of resistance. Hone your skills, aim your heart toward kindness, and stockpile second chances. Under the weight of destruction, we will need the strong shelter of it, forgiveness, and the deeper wells that give the sweet water of welcome. We have a place for you. When the world ends, we must add destruction. We must not add destruction to destruction. Not accept a beggar's bargain to fight death with more death in order to survive the apocalypse, any apocalypse at all. We have to give up the counterfeit currency of self-sufficiency, the mistaken addiction to competition, the lie that the last to die has somehow survived. We light the chalice this morning. For community, for the cooperation that sees us through. Thank you, Julie. This is the time in our order of service when we take time to lift up those joys and sorrows that are on our hearts, things that we would share with this, our beloved community. Who has something to share today?
Hello. So some of you know that I had a little emergency brain surgery for Thanksgiving. And so truth is, I could have died. Big whoop. Yeah, could have died. But, or had I been in a coma, something weird like that. But I've been given a second chance. And of course, when that happens to you, you're thinking like, okay, God, do you really exist? I don't know. But I feel like I've been given a second chance at life. I think I'm going to get it right this time. We'll see. I don't have to engineer anymore because I retired after 40 years of being a very mild-mannered engineer, and which is what engineers have to be. They have to deal with the public. Public. I was with the city of Whitefish, so there was a lot of public there. But in any case, I don't have to deal with them anymore. Not at all. But I will stay involved because unfortunately we haven't solved climate change yet. So I will have to stay involved in that part. But I'm just thankful this congregation still exists. It's not, there were some rough years, I think, but it's very good. You guys are still here. I'm still here. It's all good.
Well, I wasn't intending on lighting a candle this morning, but on the way here, right down the street, if anybody saw. There's been a dead carcass there for about 2 weeks, I would say, for a while. And I would like to take the opportunity to honor death and to know that from death comes rebuilding, new beginnings, and beauty. And if anyone else saw the 4 bald eagles feasting on the, well, there were, I saw 4, you saw 5, and then there was a golden eagle next to it as well. So the power of death is profound. And when our society learns to accept death in all of its beauty, we really will become quite wonderful. So I just want to light a candle for the beauty of nature and the beauty of death and the beauty of the cycle.
Eagles.
And
Got people using hearing aids. Using the ones that work with.
Well, on that note, my oldest brother, Gordon, was put in hospice yesterday, so his end is nigh.
Having trouble with my many things to hold.
Merry to everyone.
Uh-huh.
I'm on. It's on. Oh, good. Okay. Well, if any of you pay attention to the news, that over in Minneapolis, a good woman named Rachel Good has been shot by ICE agents this week, and feel it very important to honor her life. That she is a peaceful woman, mother of 3. And due to the conflict that is in our country, that this poor woman's life has been taken and her loved ones are now forever affected. The country is mourning. Our county is holding a vigil this tonight at 6 p.m. Just outside of the Border Patrol Agency up in Whitefish. There's quite a large effect that is being had throughout our nation.
Well, the candle that I lit was also for Renee. I have a prayer for her loved ones. This is by my colleague, the Reverend Odette Fulbright. If in the days to come your heart re-breaks with sorrow and loss, know that hearts surround you are also breaking and mending and are soft with love for you. If, as the world turns, your ears burn with the viciousness of lies told about what you hold most dear, remember that most of us, vastly more of us, hold on with you to the truth, even if it includes beautiful imperfections. If in days to come, you wonder how to raise or be a child in a time such as this, know that in every corner of this nation and in the world beyond, others are struggling and holding on and dreaming better dreams with you. There are no words to end this sorrow, no kindness that can truly comfort the wound. And yet, in holding and being held, perhaps we do all we poor mortals can do. We can love each other through it all. And I'll light one more candle for those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts unspoken. Let's take a moment in silent reflection as we sit with the joys and sorrows that we have shared. Dan Konstam has a message from the UU Service Committee. You don't need that. What do you?
Thank you. I would like to introduce you to a wonderful video that a 2-minute video from the UU Service Committee. The Service Committee is in the midst of annual fundraiser, and next week we'll do our final wrap up of the fundraiser. The Service Committee, if you're not familiar with it, has been in existence since World War II, helping Jewish refugees during the Holocaust. It continues, and what they do is support grassroots organizations. And we selected one of the 5 or 6 videos of an organization that they're supporting. It's quite moving. The speaker is a social rights activist in El Salvador, and it's quite moving. Earlier, it's a 6-minute video, but earlier in the video, he describes dealing with the disappearance of one of their members of their group who had been recognized by the American Bar Association as an international figure. And so they feel definitely threatened. But as you know, El Salvador is, as he describes, close to totalitarian state. So they're quite brave. And we wanted to share this with you today. Shandy?
You know, Salvador, I think you could honestly say that we're coming close to talking about a regime as totalitarian. And there are very few spaces that the regime doesn't control in the political, civil, economic life of the country, cultural in the country. But even with that level of control, there is resistance. And that resistance primarily comes out of people who have been direct victims of the regime. And who, because their life and live their lives and freedoms, or those of their family members that depend on their advocacy continue. And so that hope is what authoritarian regimes really just don't understand. In no moment in history has repression ever been able to turn out the light of people who are seeking justice, who are seeking freedom. That's not a guarantee that tomorrow everything will change, but we have a historical memory. The actions we take today contribute to a longer process of change, even if we don't see necessarily all the outcomes in our lifetimes. And it's important to move forward. I think that's why human rights has always had such a close connection with the faith. And different from the business world, where like, if there's no outcome in a certain time set, it's not worth doing. Human rights, and we advocate for human rights. Maybe people will never enjoy the results of it, but because there's a historical responsibility to continue to push forward the process of historical change.
Okay, thank you. Apologize a little bit for the audio, but if you're interested, check out the Guests at Your Table website.
Next week's class.
Okay, that'd be great, Shandy. All right, so thank you for your attention and generosity, Elena.
When do we bring in the little boxes?
Next week.
Oh, we bring them in next
Yeah,
week.
next Sunday. That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
I think we should sing hymn number 360 in the gray book or on the screen. Here we have gathered. Here we have gathered side by side. Circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a godly word. Together is our marvelous song. Here we are gathered, called to celebrate days of our lifetime, matter small and great. We are all ages, women, children, men, together, it's our household song. Life has its struggles and regrets, but in the shadows, not forget. We who know gather, know each other's feet. As we now together, it's our heart's own song. Please be seated. Why talk about covenants when the world is falling apart around us? Well, basically, a covenant is what holds us together in community. and all our different communities have them, though they may not be explicitly stated. We, Unitarian Universalists, place special emphasis on them because we make a big deal about not having a creed or a statement of beliefs. Which is important to most religious communities. I grew up Unitarian and then Unitarian Universalist, so creeds are not part of my past, but for many of you, they are. You may have noticed there is nothing analogous to the Apostles' Creed in our religious instruction or conditions for membership. You know, I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and Jesus Christ, his only Son and Lord, and the rest. I suspect some of you ended up here because you realized those were not your beliefs, and you didn't want to spend your Sunday mornings fibbing about about what was in your heart. Some people say that because we have no formal creed, we can believe and do anything we want. We're called a free religion, which is true. But that makes some people nervous and causes some problems, actually, among us. But there is glue that holds us together, and that's our covenant. Our faith continues in the originates, in the United States at least, with the religion of the Massachusetts colonies. We trace our earlier covenant to a proclamation made in Cambridge, Massachusetts, by Puritans led by John Winthrop in the early 17th century. Back in the day, they said, "We pledge to walk together in the ways of truth and affection, as best we know how, or may learn in the days to come, that we and our children may be fulfilled, and that we may speak to the world in words and action of peace and goodwill." It's okay. It doesn't really comport with the way they acted, but that's another story for another day. Notice it is a sentiment about actions rather than about beliefs. Walk, learn, speak. In recent decades, we have been emphasizing covenants as a way of moving beyond an excess of individuality that many believed was undermining our communities. Congregations are encouraged to have their own. In some ways, we did just dig this up from the past, dust it off, and paste it on to try to solve a problem. But it's not a bad solution. And in some ways, we are so steeped in a culture of individualism that we don't really know how to do covenant. It has to be a process. There are words, and then there's real life. People don't actually walk together in affection or whatever. What then? By the way, Glacier UU Fellowship does have a covenant worked out by our own people. And it's over there. Number 1, share gratitude and humor whenever possible. Shine your light. Number 2, look for the best in everyone, assuming their actions are based on positive intentions. Number 3, maintain a sense of humor. We really do think humor is important. Number 4, actively listen and allow others to express their ideas and opinions. Respect confidentiality and notice boundaries that are different from yours. And number 6, practice patience and compassion rather than judgment. with with your fellow humans, as we all have our moments. Yes, yes. Not too bad, right?
Yeah.
We could do that. Now, how do we do with our covenant? It's not enough, really, to put it up on the wall. I bet hardly any one of you knew it was there. Still, I recommend actually trying to use it in our dealings with one another. Keeping a sense of humor and practicing active listening will only go so far, but we should do that. Suppose someone speaks rudely to your child. Suppose someone speaks disparagingly about an honored elder who is only doing their best. What if they sign up to do things and don't show up? What if they complain about just everything and have nothing constructive to offer? When people seem to be out of covenant with us, how do we handle it? As actual human beings, this is a natural thing. We get out of covenant with one another and need to repair our relationships. We need a process of reconciliation. Yes, it is about boundaries and active listening. But for people like me, anyway, more is needed. There are two things that have come up earlier in this season of services at Guff that I found particularly helpful about this. One is the idea that Hilary Shaw brought up about our mental health toolkits. The set of ideas we carry around about how to respond to challenging situations. And the other is the idea of taking some time as a community on a regular basis to make peace with one another, inspired by the Jewish practice of seeking forgiveness from community members during the high holy days each fall. I don't know about you, but somehow I grew up with a fairly limited mental health toolkit. My family has a history of estrangements and physical distance making as ways of dealing with challenges. It's not a way to repair relationships, is it? We pride ourselves on being principled and stubborn. We are also smart and good at arguments. Somehow, a kind of tolerance that allows us to live comfortably with people who have very different views is not there. Nor is an ethos of reconciliation and forgiveness. In my family history, people came from Norway, Germany, and Northern Ireland to the United States, escaping whatever they needed to escape by physically leaving home. Survived the not very warm welcome into the United States, participated in world wars and the Great Depression, and formed families of self-reliant, stubborn survivors. In my family, reliance on communities larger than the immediate family is not part of the picture, and somehow not even the immediate family. Over the years, I have only partially shed that insular self-reliance. And being part of Unitarian Universalist communities has been part of that change. True, it's partly because I met a lot of smart, self-reliant, stubborn people and in UU congregations. But I have noticed that many of us have tentatively shed that independence to become more comfortable actually sharing with one another. Fortunately, not all of us are as bad as I was when I started this process. Anyway, apropos the covenant of right relations, I believe you'll find it's a basic toolkit for getting through situations that might lead to physical distancing. I'm out of here. So that's a good place to start. But they are not really guidelines for rescuing situations that have gone wrong. Yes, active listening is a place to start, of course. I've noticed in my own experience that when relationships have gotten out of covenant, as our movement's leaders put it, it is to say, fine, I'll leave. Or, well, you could just leave, which is not at all helpful when you want to keep your community together. That's where the second thing, the reconciliation process, comes into play. The ideal for the High Holy Days, as I understand it, and this is only part of a complex spiritual process, the ideal is to seek reconciliation with everyone you have wronged and everyone who has wronged you. Once you are in harmony with your human associates, then you're ready to stand before God and ask for forgiveness. The process can go on all year, but it gets really busy in those 11 days, starting with Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and ending with Yom Kippur. I am aware that Christian practice is to skip over the human part of this process and go directly to God, who can forgive all. The Christian God doesn't need you to reconcile with your neighbors. In human terms, that God will just forgive. That's good. But it doesn't help the larger community that supports its members. So recognizing the ways we have wronged each other and seeking forgiveness for our part in it is a way back into covenant. I like our covenant. It's a good place to start building the kind of community that we need to see us through the hard times. One thing that I admire about Jewish communities is the way they have survived through hard times of all sorts, the hardest of times. Maybe they're onto something. We could become a people who rely on each other when trouble comes, whether it's the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Service, ICE, or a local white supremacy militia, or some other dark force. But only if our mental health toolkit includes a way to continue being together. I say we need to take care to include a practice of reconciliation in our way of being together. And I'm asking, how could we make this normal in congregational life? A special time to do it once a year? Reminders from time to time? For some of us, I'm sure it's already natural. But for us self-sufficient, stubborn, independent types, it would perhaps, ironically, be good to have some help. I am firmly convinced that whatever apocalypse comes, we no longer have any place to run. At the very least, climate change will find us and the social dislocation that goes with it. We need to find a way to be together with the people we have, rather than rushing off to find more independence or someplace friendlier. If we take this to heart, we can build a truly beloved community, something strong to get us through any apocalypse together, not buying into the lie that the last one to die has somehow survived. We pass the baskets as a symbol of the way this fellowship thrives through all kinds of gifts, time, talent, and treasure, freely given for our common good. Let this be a moment to reflect on your relationship with Glacier Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, our beloved community. Thanks. Thank you. We should sing again, right? Hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
35.
We dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something in which we belong. We freedom just to have such a friends we belong. We have our Lord to give, we have our Lord to receive, and we believe sharing is an answer. Child adored among us, and we feel so special. We see our hands of we had our hearts and minds to see. We believe and answer. Our time is full of wonder and our time is very brief. But yet, among us, friends, and we we see answers new questions of this life. We see to peace of mind and then together we say we are and we and we share gratitude and humor whenever possible. Shine your light. Look for the best in everyone, assuming their actions are based on positive intentions. Maintain a sense of humor. Actively listen and allow others to express their ideas and opinions. Practice patience and compassion rather than judgment with our fellow humans, as we all have our moments. And now we extinguish our flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join us for conversation and snacks and coffee and whatever.
Thank you. For those coming to the new member welcome luncheon, it will be in RE, so grab a plate and come on down. Are you going to that? It'll be fine.